Kazakh national handcrafts make up the precious roots of steppe culture. They provide an inside look into nomadic lives. The art of the nation who once lived upon the Great Steppe is pictured here through wood and iron processing, jewelry and felting. Many programs modernize the culture of hunting, falconry, horse training and racing. Take a look inside the Kazakh culture on the program KazArt.
You must have heard about battle painting in your art history class. The genre's main goal is to depict concrete episodes that took place during the historical battles. Now you are only learning to paint small scenes, but by the end of your study here, you will be able to paint pieces as grand as the topic of life itself. Little by little, you will acquire the skill necessary to compose a battle piece. It will have a myriad of faces and actions going on at the same time, and your goal is to highlight the most important part of it all. Battlefield painting aims to depict the lives of the military personnel in everything warfare. The word bataille in French means combat and conflict. Artists that work in the genre primarily seek to convey the zeitgeist of the event and feature the main heroes of the proceedings. The first and foremost requirement held against the artist is to show the importance of the historical event and suggest the necessary context. This way, unsurprisingly, the theme of protection of the motherland and defense against foreign intruders is prevalent. As an independent genre, battle painting separated in the beginning of the 16th century. That is not to say that the battle scenes were not depicted before at all. The ancient Greek vases and bas reliefs are famous for their take on the wrestling and competitive horse races. The first Kazakh battle pieces are dated back to the times of reunion of the ancient tribes inhabiting the steppes. Unlike the modern pieces, those were chiseled in the rock, depicting the warriors and wild animals fighting for life. Showing the battlefields realistically wasn't a common practice until the artists of the Renaissance started experimenting with the genre. Leonardo da Vinci's The Battle of Anghiari is a great example of the nascent trend. With time, the genre became popular in the 18th century in Russia. There, the genre acquired new characteristics. As such, showing the lives of the regular people during warfare became equally important to showing the battlefields and combat of the great patriotic war itself. Around those times, a group of artists who work in the battle genre established the Grekov school, where they only worked on the grand military-themed canvas. The works created then later proved to be invaluable assets to the next generations, for they explained and aggrandized the impact of the historical battles of the past to the future. Unfortunately, the Kazakh artists didn't have this opportunity to capture the moment of the creation of the Kazakh Khanate. Following the steps of the artists of the Russian military art school, our youngsters inhabited the officers' club inside the Panfilov Park to work on the warfare-related pieces. After working hard for a year, they exhibited their works on the celebratory art festival organized among the other events commemorating the 550th anniversary of the Kazakh Khanate. The Kazakh battle painting has taken a separate stand in the pleiades of the national fine arts in the 1930s, about the time when the Kazakh School of Arts was initially established. Among the first battle painters of the time was Aubakir Ismailov, with his watercolor called The Battle with the Jungars, Abilkhan Kasteev's The Sparrow's Crusade, and The Clash by Amengildi. Nasedkin's set theme around the Great Patriotic War, Nurmagomedov's depiction of Aliya Moldagulova on the battlefield, Magawa Amazholov's battle works are all considered the priceless samples of Kazakh battle painting. While the professional Kazakh artists don't limit their interpretation of the battle scenes to the canvas and work in graphics and sculpture, working on a flat surface appears to be more convenient and accommodating to the wide range of meanings through the vast color choice and compositional elements. Ultimately, the artist wants to convey a clear and true depiction of the events. In graphics, for example, you can use the combination of black or any other color and white to convey a grandiose battle spirit. Through the use of stroke and print in the Soviet Russia, the Communist Party used to create posters with patriotic slogans and military scenes from the Great Patriotic War in order to instill loyalty and zeal in its citizens. The message in sculpture was, on the other hand, conveyed through shapes and poses of the characters. Besides that, combining, for example, a human and a horse caught mid-fight got a very intense meaning across. Each and every battle painting oozes on all-encompassing feelings of loyalty and love towards one's motherland. This feeling is sensibly intensified in the memorials dedicated to war. Let's consider the Monument of Fame dedicated to Panfilov's troops located in Almaty in the Panfilov Park. One cannot help but feel how devoted those men were and how faithful she should be.
Кез келген батальон суретші қандай да бір композицияға қалам тартпас бұрын ол композицияны толығымен.
But even touching the canvas, a battle artist has to understand what the composition and meaning of the final work will be. Say if you are talking about painting a revolution with many characters, as a painter you will have to decide where the center of the composition will go. After that, every single detail and every stage on every character has to be decided on. The clothes and armor has to be relevant at the time period. The setup and colors have to help the main message to be understood. To paint a revolt of the 18th century, a painter will have to conduct a serious study of the clothes, armor, decoration, location and context of the times. All this takes a serious amount of time and effort. For this one piece to look real and trustworthy, a painter will have to become a researcher and learn the full history of the period.
Сол кезеңнің көрінісін жаңағы тарих шынайы түрде беру үшін.
Соғыс тақырыбында сурет салу үшін алдымен.
Creating a painting worthwhile of anybody's time takes serious planning and effort. I try making multiple sketches, play with the composition of the elements. When I have a working drawing, I blow it up and render it in multiple different ways to see what color palette will work best. In the process, we introduce many changes. We actually happen to introduce changes even during the painting process. As a result of a very long time and much effort, we get a final piece. Battle genre is not for everybody. It requires perseverance and time, not something everybody possesses these days. Kumar Omar Khan is one of the few young disciples of this taxing yet interesting genre. In his piece called The Courageous Ancestors, he showed an episode from the battle between the Kazakh and Jungar armies.
Біз бұл жерде перспективаны көреміз. Перспектива арқылы қалай жауынгерлердің сол шабуылға шығып, сол кездегі.
Here he used the perspective to show the looming battle. We see that the Jungar warriors are fast to attack and the clash is in heat. The very correctly placed foreground and background plot lines show very good on the artist's professional skills.
Артқы план мен және алдыңғы план жоспарларды өз орнына қойып, тамаша көрсетіп отыр да. Мысалы, бірінші жоспардағы жауынгерлердің қалай шауып келе жатқаны, атып соғысып жатқанын көрсетіп жатса, ал енді соңғы артқы жақтағы жоспардағы бұлдырлап, бояумен бұлдырлап қана көрсетіп, оның ары қарай соңғы жоспарда екенін сондай керемет сондай тамаша өнермен соны көрсете білгенімізді көріп отырмыз. Ал енді былай
In the foreground, he shows the active fight while subtly downgrading the background with the misty colors. The choice of the attire elements, armor and cold arms, even the characteristic colors used in their clothes, all make the images of the characters in the painting very authentic and consistent with the time period that he used.
беріп, сол көріністің дәл сол уақыттағы суреттің оқиғасын оны көрсете білген да.
Қазақ бейнелеу өнерінде осы баталдық жанрға деген
In the past several years, the artist started showing interest in this genre. After we became independent, researching and understanding our history became an obligation. Starting from the eldest traditions to Batirs, Hans and regular Kazakhs, everything needed a new interpretation and artistic manifestation. Among those manifestations, we can find an oil painting of The Battle by Anghiari, a memorial composition dedicated to the great Femim Yilim I, sculptures of Mahambet and Isatai, linotypes of Kinisarai's heroic actions, multiple paintings of Kabanbai Batir, Nauruzbai Batir, Ablai Khan, and many other fighting for national identity and freedom against foreign usurpation, greed, and general history, all meaning to show their presence and importance in the modern history of the country. The interconnection of the battle genre with the other genre is strong. In its urge to tell a story, the battle works need consultation with storyline historical painting. In depicting contextual setup, genre painting, for example, showing military barracks and camps, is referred to both the battle and genre painting.
баталдық жанрда тарихи жанр секілді.
The battle genre only accepts the realistic approach in depicting a scene. Showing a clash in an abstract or any other one perspective is hard. Showing objects and say batirs as they require a lot of skills and touch in itself. Only an artist with highly developed professional sense will be able to convey an image of a batir according to all the rules of realism. Without these, a battlefield painting will not be artistic and lively enough to accommodate complex composition required in big-scale paintings.
мүмкіндігі бар.
I believe that the genre needs further development. Yes, it requires extended research of historical documents and time, but this effort is what stands behind great movies. Have you seen how many people work on one movie? It has a director, scriptwriters, field experts, and many more people. Now, creating a painting with such great impact alone will be taxing and requires you to be well-read and curious, but think about what you will receive in the end.
Әлі де сондай ұлттық тақырыпта, тарихи тақырыпта, соғыс жанрында суреттерді әлі де салсақ дейміз енді.
We are planning to create more of the historical works later this year. Undoubtedly, it is hard work. Nothing comes easy in these kind of endeavors. This kind of work requires taking a deep plunge into the historical documents, books, and other kinds of materials. Everything concerning the appearance and setting requires research. You just can't make up anything. You have to pay attention to the minute details. Finding out what kind of outer clothes, which side they wore their sables, how the tables used to be set up is hard but not impossible. Thankfully, the materials are all in abundance today, and taking the easy path by making up everything about a historical figure will be ethically incorrect. It is a lot of work, but in the end you will get what you had in your mind.
Ойлап отырып, кітаптардан қарап отырып, салып шықса енді дегенмен ойдағыдай жеткізуге болады деп өзім ойлаймын.
The art of battle painting serves as a bridge between the modern times and the times of despair and war, and reminds our descendants what price our ancestors paid for your freedom today. By the help of God, by the power of arms, we are here today to continue the work of appraising our sires for the vast land we own.